We've all heard of the male loneliness epidemic. It's all anybody talks about when talking about modern dating. However, they don't ever mention the fact that women too are feeling lonely in the modern era. But see, the system would never want you to recognize that. The algorithm will only push those women who are promiscuous and single and encourage young women to be the same way, because that's exactly what the system wants out of young women. Everyone's under the guise about how the majority of men don't get any women and how women have it so good ever since dating apps have come out, but make no mistake, there's a very clear epidemic of women feeling just as lonely and probably more frustrated. Today I want to answer a question that no one is even asking at the moment. Who benefits from women staying single, lonely, and promiscuous? When looking at what a lot of modern women go through, it's important to take into account a few things. Firstly, because of pushing women into the workforce through feminism, women today delay getting married and having children. When looking at how many women aged 35 have never been married, we see that in 1970, it was somewhere around 8 to 9%. Today, that number is over 30%, meaning that almost 1 in 3 women have never been married by the time they're 35. Well, if they're not getting married and having kids, what are they doing? Well, a lot of them have serious careers that they're pursuing, obviously. But on top of that, a lot of them also probably have had multiple dating partners given the amount of options. Especially in the recent past, given dating apps. The issue is, pop culture ever since the 90s heavily pushed women's sexual freedom and corporate empowerment. It really started to take off since Sex and the City was such a big hit. Millions of young women saw this show and took it a little too literally. It's not a bad show. I've had a few laughs at it myself. However, the problem is that when young, impressionable teenage girls watch this show, this becomes what they want to emulate. And emulate it they did. This graph shows the amount of sexual partners that women have had prior to their first marriage. The black line represents virgins before marriage, and as you can see, that is at an all-time low. You can see that, the higher numbers, they have a trend up, but what's so concerning is that the lines of 6 to 9 partners and 10 plus partners are up significantly, with over 15% of women today having slept with more than 10 men before finally marrying someone. Well, what's the big deal, you say? Well, several studies indicate that women with a greater number of sexual partners tend to report lower satisfaction in their marriages or long-term relationships. This article shows research by sociologist Nicholas Wolfinger, who's found that women who had only one lifetime sexual partner, their spouse, were the most likely to report being very happy in marriage. He also found that the lowest odds of marital happiness was among women with 6 to 10 lifetime partners. So today, even though women have more options than ever, they feel more lonely than ever because of the fact that they have had far more sexual partners than in previous times. Because having more partners makes relationships unstable. The research literally shows it. They find themselves constantly getting into relationships and breaking them off because they can't find satisfaction in any of them. So they stay lonely and frustrated and continue the same behavior. Sexual freedom and empowerment wasn't really what it was promised to be. Looks like casual, no consequences sex has its consequences after all. But maybe you've already heard of this phenomenon. What we're trying to do with this channel is to ask questions that no one else does. Who benefits from women being lonely like this? What are the hidden incentives behind keeping women single and lonely under the guise that they're living life to the fullest? Well, there are actually multiple. The first is that, if they're single, women would continue having to work. For single women with no family, their career sometimes becomes the thing that they're deeply attached to. With women working and taking on higher and higher positions in corporations, these women now have so much more say in decision-making and policies in not only corporations but also institutions. You might have heard people say that women are more emotional than men. That statement is slightly misleading. The reality is, men and women are equally emotional. However, when digging into this, I found something interesting. I found this article that mentioned that although there was no sex difference in bias to report negative emotions and positive emotions, the results found that there is greater relevance of negative emotions for women, given their evolutionary role as primary caregivers. So although men and women feel emotions equally, the women are more likely to act on those emotions, especially the negative ones, due to their biological nature of being protective. It is in their very nature to make sure that people are happy and that no feelings get hurt. This is why women are perfect for propaganda and shaping narratives. Because the way that the elites paint issues that they want to push is always in a way that makes it seem like a certain group is being oppressed. This naturally appeals to women's biology because they don't want to see anyone or anything get oppressed or hurt, so they make it their cause to make sure that this injustice will not happen, rather than to take a second and see what the facts are beyond the narrative that's actually pushed. The elite class also directly benefits from women being lonely, because when a woman doesn't have a man by her side to be the provider and to lead the household, she herself is responsible for herself and her household. That's all fine, it's not like women are incompetent or incapable. However, objectively speaking, because of what we just saw, it's far easier to influence an average woman of a liberal issue that has hidden incentives behind it than it is an average man, because by his very nature, he's going to be more skeptical to begin with. Strong men of the past anyways, not the soy boys we have today. This then also dramatically changes the voting habits of the population. When a majority of the citizens are in a nuclear family where the man is leading the household and the family votes in a way that aligns with the values that he's spent so much time analyzing and building, it's far harder to push liberal issues that have no real backbone, because the men will see right through it. However, through carefully curated messaging, it is far easier to induce an emotion within a woman that will dramatically cause her voting habit to change. And if she has no one to bounce this feeling off of, like her husband, or in the case of a younger woman, her father, well, that's kind of exactly what the elite class wants. The only real solution to this, in my opinion, would be to get married young and work together as husband and wife to navigate the world. I've always ended off my videos by saying the same thing. Getting married young not only allows you to thrive economically by working together as a unit, but also spiritually, as you're going to be far more satisfied with your partner who you know has the same values as you. If you found any value from this, please subscribe, and a like would be appreciated. If you disagree, think that I've missed something, please let me know in the comments. And until the next hidden incentive is uncovered, you might want to check out this one, where I go more in depth about the hopeless cycle of modern dating.